the last time a new open world game genuinely, truly excited me? When I consider how open world games have panned out in 2025, I think to the past and I think to the promise of what the open world was supposed to truly be. No invisible walls, total freedom. That was the dream, right? We longed for games that didn't box in our imagination. Now I realized those damn barriers had value. They preserved density and purpose. Before, those linear titles were intended because those are simply the limitations of our technology at the time. The modern open world is the ultimate gaming disappointment. It's a vast, empty promise where developers swapped out focused, brilliant level design for a massive, unoptimized map that forces you to hop on your horse or drive in your car for over 10 minutes just to find a collectible or to do some useless activity. We don't get the freedom in which we longed for. We get the compulsory mileage as we go through these tedious checklists. They give us scale and they take away purpose. The moment a developer shows me the map screen, I don't see an adventure, I see an endless, agonizing chore list. Borderlands 4, you already saw that mess, and I look at games like Ghostoftsushima and I see the exact same sickness, a gargantuan list of identical filler activities. This disease is the checklist wasteland. You definitely don't need me to tell you. Boot up and open any open world game released in the past decade and you will definitely see the signs and the constant repetitions. Go to this bandit camp and clear all of them and take off the scar from the bandit's leader. Go ahead and climb this tree and collect this eagle feather to progress and upgrade your character. Climb the tower to unlock 50 more icons. A glowing, useless trinket with no lore that only exists to pad the 100% completion counter. This is also precisely why I probably will never ever get a platinum trophy in any video game. There isn't any sort of completion or satisfaction that I get from getting that platinum trophy, because in order to get that ultimate trophy, it usually consists of a huge amount of tedium. There isn't any value in you actually getting that platinum trophy. It's more tedium when I want it to be mastery. I want to be one of the best players or a really great player at that game to get that platinum trophy. Unfortunately, that culture has seeped everywhere. Open world games no longer have exploration. It is a GPS guided content consumption. You are tied to a digital leash. If I'm looking at the minimap more than I'm looking at the actual beauty or the vistas of the world, the video game has failed. But the thing is, even if I'm spending a good amount of time looking at this beautiful world, if there's no substance to this canvas, what's the point? Many video game developers have unfortunately confused scale with substance. Bro, you just gave me 10 times more road to travel to find the same 3 assets copy-pasted across the entire landscape. And you seriously expect me to consider that as innovation?
Hey bro, come on now, dawg.
We as the gaming community are also partly to blame for enabling this sickness because we are so easily fooled by a fresh coat of paint. Let's talk about Ghost of Tsushima. A lot of people love this game, and I get it. The game is beautifully wrapped, the graphics are stunning, the wind mechanic is cinematic, it's high quality, but let's not confuse high quality polish with creative excellence. Strip away that stunning art style, and what are you left with? You have the exact same shallow formula in which we now loathe in Assassin's Creed. You have the fox dens, which I'm sure cute, but they are just a variation of the collects the shiny thing in which we have in so many other games. You have the same 3 types of enemy camps, you have the map absolutely saturated with filler content, and the only difference is the UI is slightly cleaner, and of course the combat and the visuals are just much cooler. Ghost of Tsushima is the ultimate proof that you can make an unoriginal formula financially successful if you just throw enough of a budget and a beautiful world at it. It allowed developers to justify continuing the checklist wasteland because we rewarded them for it. They prove that if the wrapping paper is expensive and extravagant enough, we will ignore the lack of substance in the entire package. There's something else on which we have to consider in this open world formula. Corporates definitely have a huge part to play. It's a marketing tool. We now have the biggest open world in gaming. It's a selling point, and unfortunately many gamers fall for that very point. A 15-hour linear game like God of War, for example, requires every single minute to be perfectly crafted. It requires risk and craft. An open world, well, it allows the publisher to mandate a 70-hour playtime minimum. It's cheaper and easier to model a massive, empty, barren forest and fill it with AI-generated trees and whatnot than it is to build 10 unique, intricate, handcrafted dungeons. It's the budget move disguised as a feature. And the thing is, even if this isn't done by the usual subjects, whether it be Ubisoft or EA, this open world formula is fundamentally flawed. Even consider Elden Ring. Even though they've definitely taken away a number of the things that have plagued the open world genre, whether it be the map markers, hints, waypoints that will take you exactly to your destination, brother, they've essentially taken that all away, and that is why Elden Ring is also a very good game. But still, my guy, the copy-paste content is still there. Just consider the catacombs. My guy, by the time you complete Elden Ring, you've done over 10-20 catacombs, bro. They're all the same, and the bosses, jeez. Can we even call that variety? The worlds are so massive that the developers don't have the time to properly even test them, which contributes directly to the unoptimized mess in which we see at launch. This was Borderlands' first attempt at an open world game, and they absolutely failed because they have probably the least optimized game produced in 2025, and my goodness, that's saying something. The checklist wasteland feeds the mantra, ship today, fix tomorrow. It all feeds back into itself in a vicious cycle of contempt for the consumer. No, gentlemen, I'm not a guy to complain and rant about something without having a viable solution. And the thing is, my solution will be controversial to others as they'll just see it as regression. But guys, there's only one way to fix the saturation issue. The solution is density over scale. I don't want freedom anymore. I want density and purpose. We need to return to the ethos of games where the map was a tool, not a master. And think about Dark Souls, or even the tight, intricate design of the original Zelda. The world was not empty, it was dense with secrets and danger. You went into a forest and you didn't have a glowing GPS telling you where the fun was. You had a sense of dread and curiosity. You knew that every single look, every single secret was worth exploring. We need less map icons, more environmental clues, less horse mileage and more purposeful encounters, less scale and more interactivity. For me personally, I think a good balance is essentially the hub world. These are essentially many maps which are kind of open world but much smaller in scale and are separated by, well, usually a loading screen. But keep them on the smaller side. Go to this open world zone and there's interest, there's depth there. The map isn't too big and you can properly explore that small open world map quite thoroughly. And because of that, you won't rely on your GPS or your map as much as you get to know the world in which you're occupying. Stop selling me the map and start selling me adventure. Stop confusing a massive playground with meaningful content. The open world format is fundamentally broken in the hands of the corporate machine. If you're a developer, please, I beg of you, stop making your world so massive unless you have the story, the characters, and the technical competence to make every single corner meaningful. Otherwise, you're not making an open world, you're feeding the checklist wasteland. And it's time we stop rewarding that laziness. The open world bubble has popped and it's leaving a vast open wasteland which can never truly be filled. Thank you again for joining me for another video. My name is Explicit Sage, and I'll check you